Hi guys, it's Drea. So today I wanted to start a new series on my channel. This is going to be Face of the Day in Review. I'm hoping to do this at least once a week, hopefully. It's just a really good way for me to be able to give you a lot of information all at once, kind of like an all-day wear test of everything on my face. So what is this? I kind of jumped ahead a little too much there. Basically, I've been wearing this makeup all day long. It is currently 7:45 p.m. and I worked all day today. I put this makeup on at 8:45 a.m. So it's been like, what is that, 11 hours now that I've been wearing this makeup. And I wanted to do this and kind of go through all the products that I use. I don't want to say all, I want to say most. So it won't necessarily be like meh products, but I want to talk about some standouts, some applications, some techniques, some thoughts basically on what is on my face. So this is an experiment. I hope that you like this. I hope that you'll find this really helpful. That's really what it's intended to be. And I just thought it'd be a really good way to kind of give you guys, you know, again, a little bit more of a review-based thing on my channel. So let's just call this an experiment, and if you guys like it, please give it a thumbs up and leave me comments letting me know that you like it, that you'd like to see it more often, because like I said, this is something that I can probably do at least once a week because I wear makeup almost every day. All right, so let's start with my base. I'm wearing today two different primers. I love to multi-prime. I've talked about that a lot. Different parts of my face I feel like need different things. So I use the Benefit Professional on my T-zone, basically, not even my whole T-zone, basically right between my eyebrows, right here on my cheeks where I have really big pores, and then a little bit on my chin. And then I use this is the Ordinary High Adherent Silicone Primer. I use this on my cheeks and on my nose and my chin and kind of over top on my forehead. And this is just kind of like a really good holy grail product to me that really fills in pores well. But this I wanted to talk about a little bit because it's been a little bit surprising to me. This says it fills in pores. It absolutely doesn't. It makes no difference at all to the way my pores actually look. But it keeps my makeup on longer. That is absolutely 100% for sure. Like, especially I've noticed using this on my nose and on my chin and on my forehead. A lot of the time, especially like after this long, you will see a lot of foundation worn away on my chin and quite a bit on my nose too. And I feel like today, maybe a teensy bit off my chin, but pretty much everything is still there. So I think that this is actually really worth looking at if you have that issue. Talking about like actual foundation. So today I've really been wanting to fully review this for you guys, and I will still be doing a separate video just for this. This is the Lancome Skin Feels Good Hydrating Skin Tint. This is, I want to say it's pretty full coverage. Like, this gives me a lot of coverage. I thought it was going to be more like a BB cream, but it's really not. It's like, it's got a lot of pigmentation to it. Except that we're still in the middle of summer, I have really oily skin, and I knew for a full day that this would not work for me because I've tried it a few times here and there, and it's very hydrating. So me being so oily, like, I needed to cut it, and I usually do that a lot. Like, I will mix foundations all the time. So I mixed it today with this. This is the Lancome Tint Idol Ultra 24-Hour Makeup. This is in my makeup use up for the year, and this is just a really good, like, oily skin foundation, basically. So I kind of use them half and half. Also, this is really light for me right now, and I'm trying to use it up, and I can't use it by itself because it's way too light on me, and this is actually pretty dark on me. So mixing them together has been working out pretty well. It, like I said, it's taken me through 11 hours, so I think that combo is really good for me. Today I decided to bust out my Tarte's Pro Glow Contouring Palette. I have not used this very much, but I did, you know, I pulled it into my Shop My Stash. I want to get some use out of it. So today I used the, it's actually called Shade. It's a cream contour, and it's pretty deep, but it blends out pretty well. Like, that's actually really deep. I use it with this brush, or I have used it with other brushes, but today I use it with this. This is the Beauty Junkies Pro Sculptor brush, and I just use a really light hand before I put on my powder, but after my foundation, and I just kind of like carve out the cheekbones and maybe a little bit up in the corners of my forehead. And then after I set all my powder and everything, I did go in with this shade here, which is called Sculpt. So that's the shade Sculpt right there, which is, as you can tell, much less pigmented than this. So actually I think the combo of doing both those things together really worked out really well, because I feel like in real life I don't want that really intense contoured look. Like, I want to be out in the world without people looking at me crazy like, what's wrong with her. So, you know, Instagram makeup can kind of go overboard a little bit with contouring, I think. So I think this was a pretty good level of contour for me today. I did actually combine my highlights. So today I kind of used Stunner, which is a really beautiful, intense, very intense highlight. And I went in with that on my face. And then I also busted this out. This is the MAC Soft and Gentle. I talked about this in my recent haul video, how a friend sent it to me and it came like broken. So that's why it's all smashed up. So this one is a lot more subtle, but I kind of mixed the two together. So you can kind of see the difference there. I know it's late at night, and that's going to be probably the one drawback of this type of video, is that the lighting isn't always going to be so great at this time. But I really enjoyed the actual contours in here today. The highlights I do like, but they're not my favorite. I don't know. There's something about highlighting palettes that just doesn't, like, it doesn't feel as special. I don't know what it is with highlights and contouring palettes. Does anybody else feel that way? I feel like I'm crazy when I say that. But yeah, anyway, I think that's why I like to mix them. I've been talking about this in a couple different Shop My Stash videos, how I really need to finally try this. This is the Lancome Cream Blush Subtle, and it's in the shade Coral Alize. And I finally, for the first time ever, use this today. So again, I put this on, whenever I use cream products for the face, I like to put them on top of foundation before I set my foundation with powder. So I did that, where I used like a really soft, light hand. It was actually a diffuse brush that I used. And it gave me like a peachy flush to my skin. So, I mean, obviously this is much deeper, but I think you can tell, like, I have a little bit of a peachy flush. It's nothing too intense. And then I actually did go over top the powder with it a little bit more, just because I wanted to build it up. And it did actually work out really well. So this is a product that you can use with creams or like on top of powder, and that was the one worry that I had with it. But this is a shade that I really like to use in the summer, so I think I'm gonna continue to use that a few more times. Also, I've been using these Annabelle bronzers that I recently picked up. So this is the Perfect Bronze in Sun Goddess. I bought two. One is a matte and one is a shimmer, and this is the shimmery one, which is a lot more pigmented than the matte one that I bought. And these actually do blend out really, really well. I've said it before, I'm not the best with bronzer. Like, I feel like I don't always have the placement down, but this one I think works out pretty well. I feel like I'm not super muddy looking. I feel like it blends pretty nicely, and I feel like the bronze is a nice level of bronze. It's not too much, it's not too little. Okay, a couple other products that I want to talk about. Number one is this concealer. I've been using this a lot lately. This is the CoverGirl Outlast All Day Concealer. Mine is in the shade 820 Light. This is not a high coverage concealer. This is actually a pretty natural level of coverage. It's fairly sheer. It's not, like, it does not cover up my dark circles really. I use it with my color corrector from Hard Candy, and even though I know when you're looking at me right now, you can see these dark circles a little bit right here. But I just don't care that much lately. Like, I actually don't really care that you can, like, I don't need to be perfect there, especially like in the real world, not necessarily on camera with you guys. I always want to put my best face forward with you guys, but like if I'm going to work, I'm fine with this level of coverage on my under eyes, and it is a little bit more natural. And the reason that I've been really liking this is because it's a little bit more hydrating than some of those more full coverage concealers that I use, like Shape Tape or the YSL All Hours concealer. Those give me like a lot of coverage, but they don't, like, they kind of dry me out. And I notice my lines coming throughout the day because there's no moisture there, you know? So I feel like this is so much more hydrating that I've really been enjoying it a lot. Today I used my NYX matte liquid liner, which actually is in my purse because I took it to work, and I was actually really like impressed with it. Even though I've used it 1,000 times, I was impressed with it today, just looking at it being so matte. I feel like my wings look real on point today. It's always nice when you have a nice wing eyeliner day. I'm wearing cut lashes today, so these are just the half edge of Ardell Demi Wispies. Sometimes when I get to the end of a pair of lashes and I'm like, okay, well I can't use these anymore, I'll just cut off the ends and I'll use those sometimes. So it gives me a little bit more volume on the outside of my eyes, and I really like that, especially when I do wing liner. I feel like a lot of the time just mascara doesn't balance the wing liner well enough for me. So I really like just having a little bit of lash just on the outer edge, and also then because it's a half lash, I don't have to worry at work that it's gonna pop off or it gets uncomfortable or, you know, like all that. Like I literally do not notice that I'm wearing these all day long, and I really love that trick. It's something that I like to do a lot. So I've been loving the way the liner looks today, and kind of like the pièce de résistance of this entire look is this palette. And I actually, every time I wear this, get complimented on it, which happened again today at work. Like everybody, like not just once, multiple times in a day, people will talk about this eyeshadow. And I really have always, like, I've always loved this. I've sung the praises of it since I bought it. It's so amazing, especially for the price. So if you've not tried ColourPop Pressed Single Shadows, like, they are really, really amazing. I wanted to kind of go through the colors that I'm wearing. Like I said, I don't want these videos to be too long, but I want to kind of go through the colors that I'm wearing with you. So I always like to use this shade here, which is called Champs, okay. I always use this as my transition when I'm using this palette. I think it's a really perfect kind of peachy shade. Then if I remember correctly, see, this is gonna be the one drawback because I have to think back. What did I do? What did I do? I'm pretty sure I went in next with this kind of orange shade, which is called Big Cocktails. I thought I was gonna say something else there, if I'm being honest. It's a beautiful matte orange, absolutely gorgeous color. Then on my outer V, I went in with this red, which is called Spoiled. Again, matte. Like most of this look is matte, right there. And then inside the kind of middle, I went back into that orange shade. And then this here, this gold, is what's on my inner third. Now I will say this, out of everything, this is the one shade I would say that kind of fades the most. The rest of them still look pretty good, like at the end of 11 hours, but this was a lot more intense when I started my day out. So I still think it looks pretty. I like that it lasts the way it does. I think it could last maybe a teensy bit better for the metallics, but the mattes are really great. And then lastly, before I actually finished the look, I thought, okay, it's missing a little something. And I just actually went in with the yellow, which is called Mischief. And I just lightly went over kind of that transition area right there with the yellow. So that's all the shades that I use. I did absolutely nothing on my lower lash line except for mascara today. All day long I was actually wearing a different lipstick, but I left it in my purse, so I just put this one on right now. This is kind of similar to the shade I was wearing. A nice peachy nude. This is actually from NARS. This is the Velvet Lip Glide in Playpen. What the heck? Playpen. Yeah, but it was very similar to what I wore all day long. So there is my face of the day in review. Like I said, this is kind of a new idea. Let me know what you think about it. I feel like it's a good way to kind of go through what I'm wearing on my face and give you guys a rundown of how it performed. Let me know if you'd like me to add anything to this. Any feedback is welcome. I just think this would be kind of a good thing to do once a week. I'm not going to do it with every look. The drawback is going to be that you're not going to see me apply this stuff, but I think maybe giving you a rundown of what is on my face will be enough. So that is it for today. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope life is treating you well. I hope you are treating yourself well. I love you guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye.